Hey yo, what is up, guys? So finally back with the just talking about a wrestling video, and this one's a very, very important one because today we're talking about Roman Reigns' title reign. So for those of you who don't know, Roman Reigns has been holding the Universal Championship, now Universal WWE Championship, since August of 2020, all the way back during the pandemic era of them being in the Thunderdome. He held it all the way up till them returning to the fans at WrestleMania 37, retained at WrestleMania 37 against Edge and Daniel Bryan, went on to continuously retain his belt in all sorts of matches. The return to the audience era with against Edge, the big match with John Cena, Finn Balor, feud with Brock Lesnar, everything, all the way up to right now what we're talking about. It just seems like such just a blast because a lot of people don't really pay attention during the pandemic era. But we got one of the start of one of the greatest runs in I don't even know, like the only real championship run that a guy went on like this in recent years was CM Punk all the way back in, I believe, 2012. He held the belt for all of 2012, and Roman Reigns is about to be going on 2 years as the champion, and it's completely mind-boggling because it's like anytime this whole thing was brought up about a guy holding a belt for a meaningful, we're talking years. In this day and age, it was like the fans would revolt and turn on it, but this is just one of those times where it's like they ain't turning on it. I mean, Roman's a heel, and it's absolutely nuts. Like to say, like, because it's like I can't even think of anyone like this is crazy, that they've done this because you had all those Attitude Era fans who had the belt change every single week. I think the longest person to hold it was like Steve Austin for 190 days, and this just completely trounces that whole 3-4 month period where Steve Austin held it for. Like no one else in the Attitude Era held it for that long. During the Ruthless Aggression Era, JBL, he had a very, very long title reign. What did he hold it for? Almost a year. John Cena held it for over a year. Then, yeah, I think after that there's CM Punk who held it for a meaningful length of time. I can't really think of too many people who have like over year-long title reigns since I guess JBL didn't hold it a year, but he held it like 10 months, which is really quite good. But yeah, going back through all this stuff, you got to go back to like the Bret Hart days and Shawn Michael days of guys holding it for just long ass periods of time. But anyways, so what this whole video is about is who's gonna beat this fucking guy because he's went through almost everyone. He's in like the last few guys of people he hasn't beaten. So we have to talk about guys who he's going to beat. So let's just get into that. Number one, let's talk about the first. I have 4 possibilities here, and number 1 here is that he doesn't fucking lose it till next year, and he doesn't even lose it. He's going to go on. He's going to continuously hold the belt all the way up through WrestleMania. What is it? 39 next year? Is it 39 next year? I think so. I think it's 39. He's going to hold it all the way to WrestleMania 39. And he's going to face The Rock, which is the match they want to do. And realistically, he's going to beat The Rock. He's going to win against The Rock because you can't put the belt on The Rock because The Rock can't. Like when Rock's going to win it and then vacate it? Like then you can't do that. So Roman's going to win and he's going to continuously hold it. What's he going to hold it till Backlash of next year? Does he just keep holding it till SummerSlam? Like this is nuts. Especially with this whole talk of him wanting to go on a part-time schedule. So this is completely him holding it, and like he would hold it longer than that, so he could be looking at a 3-year freaking title reign by that point. That's what we could be talking about next year, Roman Reigns holding it, and that's a very likely scenario, mind you. Very, very likely. Like, I'm saying that's probably the most likely out of these scenarios that I'm talking about right now. So next up, we have a very, very popular choice for winning the belt, and that is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is by far the biggest face over on. Actually, he's by far the biggest face returning, and he could very, very well be getting that big title reign. But when does he challenge for it? Does he challenge for it at SummerSlam or Survivor Series? I'd like Survivor Series, and here's why: because of Starrcade, and that would be like the same month that Dusty Rhodes would run all those Starrcade events with WCW back in the late 80s. And so that's why I think like maybe Survivor Series, Cody Rhodes wins it. I personally would like to see Cody Rhodes win it. That would be a very, very good option and a very happy option I'd like to see. So yeah, it's just, again, like, damn, Roman's just been on such a tear. So when is this? When's this going to happen? So I feel like Cody is just an obvious choice. Everyone's talking about it. Cody Rhodes versus the eventual Roman Reigns match. And I think it should happen during the summer. But I have nothing else to really say about it. But I'd love to see Cody Rhodes get the belt. Number 2 would be Drew McIntyre beating him at Clash of the Castle at London. And that is a very, very real option. But I think what hurts this one is Tyson Fury's probably going to get involved in a match with Drew McIntyre. And that's going to help sell out that stadium show. So that's more likely of what's going to happen. But Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns on that show could be completely bonkers. Especially, so there is that Drew winning it, like Bulldog Dig back in '92. So that would be a huge, huge marker for that show. And that could very well happen. Roman Reigns holding the belt for 2 years, Drew beating him for it. They haven't had a one-on-one match, and they're probably not going to have a one-on-one match at Hell in a Cell. I'm predicting like the Hell in a Cell main event is probably going to be between Cody and Seth Rollins, or like Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, or Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. I'm predicting that's the main event of Hell in a Cell, and yeah, that's. I don't think Roman's. I hear Roman's not even wrestling on that card, so he's going to defend at Money in the Bank. So who does he defend against at Money in the Bank? That's the big question. So is he going to start his feud with Drew McIntyre, and they're going to play 3 stadium shows with Drew losing the first 2, only to win? I don't know, and like to get that big win back, unless they do the first match at Money in the Bank, they screw him, and then he has a match against someone who is Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam. He comes back, and then he gets his big moment at Clash of the Castle in September. That could very well be the case. That is a very likely scenario. That's the thing, because it's like for the Cody scenario, it's like Cody could kind of just win it at any time. Unless they build him up for SummerSlam. Yeah, so that could be a thing. Like they build Cody up for SummerSlam, he cashes in, wins Money in the Bank, cashes in against Roman at SummerSlam, and yeah, that's the thing. What's the way they're gonna go with this? Anyways, so for the 4th option, and I think this is probably my favorite because I think it works the best, and that's Randy Orton winning. And you all know why I'm saying Randy Orton winning. One, the dude is on fire right now. Like, the crowd loves him. Like, they are so behind RK Bro that these guys are just heroes. So I could see Randy Orton winning the belt, Randy Riddle winning the Royal Rumble, and those two going on to main event WrestleMania next year. And that, I think, would be a very, very good feud, because this whole thing started all the way back in 2021, and having the whole storyline end with Riddle winning the belt at WrestleMania. And he doesn't even have to hold the belt. It's just a combination of a story of Riddle and Randy Orton, them going from tag champs to feuding for the world championship. So that's why I think, one, it'd be believable. Like, anyone could get behind Randy Orton winning. He has the freaking RKO on his side, and he's sick. Like, and that's a big feud for Roman Reigns that he hasn't been in. They've had one match, and I remember when Randy Orton lost that match, everyone's like, "Dude, Randy should have won that one." That's what was funny about that one. Is like everyone's like, "Yo, Randy, he had a fucking awesome performance." That's what everyone came out of that saying. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, I think the RK Bro one they're the most overact easily in the company outside of Roman Reigns. Like, behind them, like, who's that? Like, watching these shows, the only people who come out who get that much of a god treatment, the only one close to that is Cody. And then after that, it's kind of like falls off. Like, Drew McIntyre kind of gets it after that. Like, but he's over on SmackDown, and he's just, the SmackDown brand, it ain't working out like that. They're kind of falling off quite a bit there. Their shows are kind of lacking. It's like, I kind of like see like who they post and what matches they're on. And it's just like, same old, man, same old. And I'm not like against that shit, but like, damn, these SmackDown shows lately have been a bore. Anyways, so let me know, who do you guys think should beat Roman Reigns? or if he should lose at all, he holds the belt for the rest of the time. Earth explodes, Roman goes down as champion. Anyways, peace out, guys. Let me know what you think. Bye.